Hello thrillers, welcome back to yet another tutorial on this very channel. Okay, this is the making of the senator as seen on the thumbnail, and is our second tutorial on males wear. If this is what you want to watch, let's go ahead. All right, for me to take the measurement, what I did was to spread out the dress of the client. Okay, measure the width that contains the chest. I multiplied it by 2. Then I also measured the armhole circumference, measured the neck of the senator, measured the length also. So that's how I got the measurement. I didn't actually measure the client per se. This is my front. Then the length of the dress will be 41 inches plus 2 inches for hemming allowance. That's half inch shoulder, 1.5 inch hem. That's 43 inches in total. So I'm going to trim this out. To know the width to fold, because this is on fold, as you can see, it's your chest, the chest round divided by 4. In my case it's 48 divided by 4, that is 12, then plus extra 2.5 inches, 12, then I have extra, that's the amount to fold. So now this is the front and this is the back. I placed the front on the back, and on this hem side, this is where the front ended. So the back should be at least 4 inches longer than the front. You can see, so this is 4 inches. I joined material here. Okay, so that's how you're going to fold yours. So what I'm going to do is mark down the shoulder slope of 3.5 inches. I come down by 3.5, and I'll connect it to the neck point. Okay, I've marked it and I'll trim it out. After this, I'm going to drag the front down to meet the hemline, the accurate hemline. Arrange it properly. So this is how it will now look like. Okay, all right, this is it. And you know, for the shoulder, this is the front. For the shoulder, there has to be half an inch shoulder allowance. So I'll mark out that half an inch for the front, and also for the back, half an inch. All right, to join the shoulders. So I'm going to fold this back over to overlap it. You know, the dress of men, the back is always, overlapping the front. So this is what we are trying to create here. Okay, so I'm going to fold this over the half an inch, overlapping this half an inch. I'm going to iron this very well. All right, this is it, and that means actually we are overlapping 3.5, then we added half inch for sewing allowance, making it 4. So that's what happened here. Okay, then I want to cut this extension out. Shoulder to shoulder is 19 inches divided by 2 is 9.5. So I'm going to measure it this way. Yeah, I also mark the same thing somewhere down here so we can create the armhole. And the armhole of my client is 17 inches divided by 2. It's 8.5, right? My 8.5 is here. But I don't want this to be tight, so I'm going to add extra 1 inch for ease. And that will be here. So we'll go ahead and connect the line. This becomes the sleeve opening. Then for the chest, like I said, is 48 inches divided by 4 is 12 inches. Plus 1 inch, that is 13. And this one is what we are going to use to create the side slits, that's the side vents. This 12 inches, I'm going to also mark it down. I've marked down the 1 inch side allowance too, and from here I came up. Remember, I have a hemming allowance of 1.5 inches. So leaving that aside, I came up with 11 inches, and I marked that would be the opening, the side opening. Okay, so and I connected it this way. So I'm going to go ahead and trim off this, but before that we are also going to mark our chest line. For the back first, this is the true measurement. Okay, for the front, I'll find the midpoint, which is here, then go inside by half an inch, create the curve. So this is the line for the front, and this is the armhole for the back, but we're going to give our half an inch sewing allowance here. Before that, let's go ahead and create our neck. The neck round of my client is 17.5 inches. First of all, I'm going to create a neck width of 3 inches and a neck depth of 5 inches. 5 inches and connect using my curve ruler. After marking this, the neck round of my client is 17.5 inches and I need half of it, which is 8.75. So I'm going to measure this thing that I have right here to know if it is up to 8.75 that I'm looking for. Measure the back too. If you watch closely, you will see that this ended at 8.75, okay? Then I will leave my half an inch sewing allowance. But if I had measured this and it was giving me less than 8.75, what I will do is I'll increase the neck width and the neck depth a little bit and recreate my curve, measure it again. If it is still lesser, I'll continue doing it. But if it is more than my 8.75, I will have to reduce the neck width or the neck depth. All right, now follow closely how I'm going to cut this. When you're getting to this point, you just curve it out. This is it. So this is the back and this is the front. But we don't want this to have this sharpness here. So I'll just make it straight. After that, then I'll add half an inch to the back armhole and cut it out first. Then add half an inch for the front one and shape it. After this, we go over to the sleeve. So what we will do is to take this armhole measurement for the back. And what I have is 11.75 and we'll work with that. Alright, I have a fabric here that I'll fold for the 2 sleeves. And I've marked my half-inch starting point line. So from there, I'm working with a sleeve of 9.5 inches. My 9.5 is here, but in total I have 10 inches, 1 inch hemming allowance inclusive. I want a cap height of 5.5 inches. You know, this is for guys. No long procedure for this sleeve. I will just have to create a curve. Measure this curve to make sure I have 11.75, that armhole that I measured. Okay, I have my 11.75 to be here. Alright, so I'm now going to draw it very well. Or just add my half an inch. This half an inch allowance. So for this part, the bicep circumference of my client is 14 inches divided by 2 is 7. 7 is here, but I'm going to add 1 inch for ease. 1 inch here, then 1 inch for the allowance. Then for this part also, from this point, I give 1 inch sewing allowance, then I'm going to connect it. I need a facing for the back and the front neck, so I have a fabric here folded and I'm going to put it under here and cut this into shape. Do the same thing for the front. I'm notching that overlap. Okay, for the pocket I have this is on fold, this, and I also have a suede material here which is also on fold, and the length is in total 7 inches. The width on fold is 3 inches. So I'm going to place this, okay, and on this hem part I just made a V shape and I'll place it right side to right side and I'm going to sew it. So let's move over to our placket Here I have, this is a hard paper stay, but you can make use of a collar stay. I don't have a collar stay. I want my placket length to be 14 inches. So I measured and I cut a 14 inches hard paper stay, and I want the width to be 1 inch, as you can see, 1 inch. So this will be the down part. I want to create that V shape. I'm going to create a V. So this is what I want. Then I have a fabric here. This is the wrong side, and the length of it is 15 inches. That's half inch sewing allowance at the top and at the bottom. Then the width is 4.25 inches here, just something like that. So I'm going to place this hard paper stay, the gummy part, and I'll place it here, leaving half inch both on the top and on the bottom, and also 1 inch on this side. I left 1 inch here. I'll place it this way, and I'm going to iron it onto this. Then this 1 inch I left here, I'll fold it over. Place a hemming gum under it. Okay, so on this side, this is the tip, the side with the inverted V. From the top side, I want the opening of this placket to be 8 inches. So I leave half an inch sewing allowance, and I will come down by 8 inches and mark. From this place, I will just come out by 1 inch, 1 inch, 1 inch, 1 inch, connected it up. Okay, this is the 1 inch. So, but I want to shape this. I want to add my allowance already here to the shape of this V. Okay, even this one that I folded here, I'm just going to still open it up a little. Please, I'm supposed to do it before folding over, but regardless. Okay, so this is it, and that 1 inch, I'm using it to fold. For the last fold here, I also need an extra 1 inch. So I'll measure one inch. But after this mark here, this is the 8 inches I said. After here, I'm just going to cut off this. So this is what I'll do. But this will be folded inwards like this. I hope you understand that. So one thing you need to know, fold it in such a way, this is the down part. Fold it in such a way that you still have part of it coming out, a little excess of it coming out, so that when you are sewing, because we are sewing it one way, when you are sewing, this will be in between, the cloth itself will be in between here, and you will not see whether you are sewing this part. So it's good to allow a little allowance, so that when you are sewing, you are sure that it's holding this part too. Now, to cover up this side, we are going to notch here a little, notch the midpoint, then use our hemming gum also and fold it over. Okay, after that one, for the one that will be inside, I also have this, and it is 8.5. Half inch is for the neck allowance. So okay, and the width is 2.5 inches here. So what I did was fold it as bias, fold this side, and iron, then fold it over again, and this side will be underneath, just like we did for the other one. Just let it come out a little bit, because we are going to sandwich the placket into here and sew and iron. This is it. The one below is coming out a little bit more than the one on the top. All right, for piping the neckline, we're going to cut a bias to pipe the neckline. I have a block of fabric here. Now, this part is not really stretchy, as you can see. This way is not, for this material, this way stretches a little, but if we cut it on bias, it stretches more and it will be more flexible. So the diagonal part is the bias side. As you can see, it stretches more. So I'm going to fold it up on the bias, and I will cut out 1 inch. Alright guys, with this we've come to the end of this very tutorial for today. I don't want this video to be very long, so in my next video it will be on how to sew this. which, but I will post both of them together, okay? So once you're done watching this, I will link it on my description box to go ahead and watch the sewing of this. But as you can see, this is stretchy, okay? So take care of you. Bye.
Rage on that beat, going crazy.